Schools are meant to be a happy, fun and safe place where learning blossoms. Yet, there are also busy workplaces where potential safety hazards exist. How do you protect your school against litigation and stay abreast of the latest legislation? The Velpic Mills Oakley Schools Pack initiative holds the answer. This resourceful e-learning program provides a top quality and affordable solution to protect your school against litigation, and easily captures records of workplace safety training too. It provides expert content written by leading national law firm Mills Oakley.
Hello and welcome to this course looking at bullying in the workplace. Workplace bullying is a serious occupational safety and health issue. As a member of staff, it's up to you to speak up and get help when you see or experience bullying. This module is designed to help you identify and manage bullying in all its forms. It includes guidance on what workplace bullying is, how it can be prevented, and how to respond to allegations of workplace bullying. What is workplace bullying? Workplace bullying is defined as a repeated and unreasonable behaviour directed toward a worker or a group of workers that creates a risk to health and safety. It includes both physical and psychological risks and abuse. Let's break that down. Repeated behaviour means that it is persistent and can include different behaviours over time, for example, verbal abuse, unreasonable criticism, and isolation. There is no specific number of incidents required for the behaviour to be considered repeated, provided that there is more than one occurrence. Unreasonable behaviour means behaviour that a reasonable person, having considered the circumstances, would see as unreasonable, such as victimising, humiliating, intimidating or threatening behaviour. The bullying behaviour must also create the risk to health and safety. There must be a causal link between the bullying behaviour and the risk to your health and safety. Repeated and unreasonable behaviours can take many different forms, from the obvious, direct, to the more subtle, indirect.
Discrimination and harassment. Hello, and welcome to this course, looking at discrimination and harassment in the workplace. While I'm sure many of you would recognise blatant discrimination, it's important that we understand all kinds of discrimination and harassment that happen in the workplace. As a member of the workplace, it's up to you to speak up and get help when you or a colleague is a victim of discrimination or harassment, so that it stops impacting on health, productivity, turnover, absenteeism, low morale, and financial costs. This module is designed to help you identify and manage discrimination and harassment in the workplace. It includes guidance on how discrimination and harassment can be prevented and how to respond to discrimination and harassment in all its forms. What is discrimination? Any unfair or unfavourable treatment of a person, when based on irrelevant personal characteristics, can be considered discrimination. Under the law, treating someone differently because of sex, marital status, pregnancy or potential pregnancy, breastfeeding, race, age, religion, political beliefs, carer status, family responsibilities, transgender status, physical features, sexual orientation, or lawful sexual activities, industrial activity or union membership is illegal. It's also illegal to treat someone differently because they happen to associate with any one of these categories, or if a group of people with any of these characteristics is treated differently. That's a lot to think about, and to make it more confusing, there are two types of discrimination prohibited by law. Direct discrimination, which is when the discrimination happens person to person, and indirect discrimination, when the policies or rules of the workplace discriminate against a protected category of people.
Hello and welcome to this course looking at ladder safety and preventing falls. Ladders are commonly used throughout schools, but unfortunately each year many serious injuries result from falls from ladders, even from a relatively low height. This module is about identifying and managing risks when using ladders, as well as discriminating between safe and unsafe ladder practices. Your responsibilities. The school is required to protect you from the risks associated with ladders that have the potential to contribute to injury or illness. However, you also have a general duty of care to take reasonable care for your own health and safety and that of others, and cooperate with the school's efforts to make your workplace safe. In a general sense, this means adhering to workplace policies and procedures, using equipment properly, and helping to identify hazards and risks before they cause injury or illness. Before considering using a ladder, ladders and stepladders do not offer fall protection, and therefore should be the last form of equipment to be considered. When you are making the decision about working at heights, consider whether the job can be done from the ground using extension tools, or completed at ground level and then lifted to the required height. Preference should always be given, where practicable, to using an elevated, solid work platform or scaffolding to minimize risk of injury or illness.
Managing hazardous manual tasks. Hello, and welcome to this course looking at managing hazardous manual tasks in the workplace. Even though you may not realise it, most jobs in schools involve carrying out some type of manual task. This includes activities such as restraining a student, carrying boxes of copy paper or files, transporting audio-visual or equipment around a school, pushing a whiteboard into a meeting room, or even using a keyboard. Manual handling injuries account for a significant proportion of all injuries that occur within schools, so this course will help you to understand the common hazards and how to minimise the risk of injury. Your responsibilities. The school is required to protect you from the risks associated with manual handling tasks that have the potential to contribute to injury or illness. However, you also have a general duty of care to take reasonable care for your own health and safety and that of others, and to cooperate with your school's efforts to make the workplace safe. In a general sense, this means adhering to workplace policies and procedures, using equipment properly, and helping to identify hazards and risks before they cause injury or illness.
Slips, trips and falls. Hello and welcome to this course, looking at preventing slips, trips and falls in the workplace. In a school environment, there are a lot of different surfaces and activities that can cause you to slip, trip or fall, which can cause injuries ranging from bruises and sprains through to broken bones or dislocations, all of which require healing time and a curtail of your activities at work and home. This course will look at what kinds of hazards to watch for, how to manage them, and what to do if you or a colleague takes a tumble. Your responsibilities. The school is required to protect you from risk contributing to a slip, trip or fall. However, you also have a general duty of care to take reasonable care for your own health and safety and that of others, and cooperate with your school's efforts to make the workplace safe. In a general sense, this means adhering to workplace policies and procedures, using equipment properly, and helping to identify hazards and risks before they cause injury or illness. What are slips, trips and falls? You all know what it feels like to slip, but for the purposes of clarity, we will treat slips in this course as occurring when your foot loses traction with the ground surface, no matter how slight. This can be caused by ground cover, slippery footwear, or a combination of both. Trips occur when you unexpectedly catch your foot on an object or surface, such as uneven edges in flooring, electrical leads, cracks, or loose mats. Falls can result from a slip or trip, but may also occur when you're at low heights, such as steps, stairs, and curbs. Hello and welcome to this course, which is on workplace-related stress. There are a lot of things in our lives that can contribute to us feeling stressed. Family obligations, illness, financial concerns, or just a complete lack of time to get everything done. This lesson focuses on stress that you may encounter in your work environment and how to identify, prevent, and manage it. Whilst people are generally able to adjust to short-term stressors and are able to continue performing their normal work duties, stress that develops into a long-term issue may affect a person's psychological and physical health. So, it is important that work-related stress is controlled in order to minimize the risk of injury or illness. As a member of a great team in school, it's up to you to speak up and get or give help when you see work-related stressors or experience work-related stress. What is work-related stress? Stress is a widely used term, and most people have some understanding of what it means. However, it should not be confused with work pressures. Work pressure is often unavoidable due to the nature of working at a school, which is a constantly changing environment. When your work pressure becomes excessive or otherwise unmanageable, this is when it leads to stress. According to the World Health Organization's definition, work-related stress is the response people may have when presented with work demands and pressures that are not matched to their knowledge and abilities, and which challenge their ability to cope. They go on to say that stress occurs in a wide range of work circumstances, but is often made worse when employees feel they have little support from supervisors and colleagues, and where they have little control over work or how they can cope with its demands and pressures. What this means is that when you feel overloaded, are time poor, and the pressure builds, the physical and mental response is stress, and it may have a positive or negative impact on your health and welfare. Often you can adjust to the impact of these factors and are able to continue to perform your normal work duties. Sometimes, however, you or a colleague may not cope as well. Remember, we all have different tolerances or susceptibilities, but it's how we work as a team that determines whether everyone remains healthy and a functioning member of the school community. Whilst workplace stress is not an injury or disease, the experience of excessive and long-lasting stress can lead to the development of psychological and physical injuries.
Let the Velpic Mills Oakley Schools Pack provide you with a peace of mind and free up more time to focus on your mission as an educational institution. Explore how you can benefit from our program today. Keep your school safe for everyone.